So today we're making cheesecake. This is my favorite recipe. It's a staple because you can transform it in so many ways. Today we're making it for Jason's birthday, so it's going to be peanut butter and chocolate ganache on top. For the crust, I usually make my own because I have a hard time finding chocolate graham cracker crumbs. So I either use the Teddy Grahams or these chocolate graham crackers. I just put them in my food processor. This is my little Ninja, and I just chop it down because I want about a cup and a fourth of crumbs. I shove it full. It makes really easy work of it. And then you're going to mix it with 5 tablespoons of butter. The original recipe calls for 3 tablespoons of sugar. I don't like it to be as sweet, so I usually hold back on the sugar. And so I use about 2 tablespoons. And you're just going to mix it. You want this to be kind of sandy looking, and then you're going to take it and press it into your pan. Now, I have a springform pan. Cheesecake's our favorite dessert, and so for all birthdays, we usually do cheesecakes. And I bought this pan, but you could also use an 8x8 square Pyrex pan or just a baking pan. You're going to take your crumbs and pour them over your pan and just kind of spread it out evenly. And then I like to take some kind of container or something with a flat bottom and just press it into the pan, making sure that you're pretty evenly covered on the bottom and then up the sides a little bit. Now, of course, you could do a regular graham cracker crust, and you can buy that already made, the crumbs already made by the box. And so if you're interested in just doing a regular crust, that's available at the grocery store. Once I'm satisfied that that's pretty even along the bottom, I'm going to put it in the oven at 400 for about 10 minutes. This is just going to let the crust set, and then I'm going to take it out and let it cool for about 20 minutes. While the crust is cooling, it's a good time to go ahead and start on the filling. Jason does not want chocolate chips in this, so I'm just going to do a plain mix, and you could add anything you wanted to this mix. You could add some dried fruit, you could add some caramelized pecans, you could add a scoop of peanut butter and make it a peanut butter cheesecake. But you're going to start the same way no matter what. You're going to add 3 packs of softened cream cheese. And if you lay these out on the counter for about an hour to 2 hours before you do this, they should be pretty soft. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to whip these in my mixer just to make them fluffy and so that they're easy to mix in other things. You're going to add 3/4 cup of white sugar and continue mixing. And then every once in a while, you're going to need to stop and scrape down the side of the bowls. The cream cheese will get stuck to the bottom and the sides. So scrape it down really well so that you can make sure everything is incorporated really, really well. And then you're going to add 3 eggs, one at a time. I am breaking them into another bowl just to make sure I don't have any shells in them, but I don't always do this. And at this point, if you want to, you can add 1 cup of mini chocolate chips. But today, we're just doing plain ones. So I'm going to continue scraping down the sides and the bottom of the bowl. And then I'm going to pour that mixture into my cooled crust. Now you're going to bake this at 450 for about 10 minutes. Then you're going to drop the temperature to 250 and let it cook for about 45 more minutes or until it will not jiggle in the middle when you shake it. You're going to turn off the oven, crack that door to let some of the heat out and just to let it cool very slowly. It will look like this. You're going to leave it for about an hour. It's going to still be warm, so just set it on your counter, and then either you can let it cool for another hour on your counter and throw it in the fridge, or you can do the next step, which is topping it how you would like. Now, Jason has asked for ganache, and ganache is just a mixture of warm cream and chocolate chips. That's really easy to find. I can find you a recipe if you want, but it's super easy to make. And then a peanut butter icing that I typically make is really good on brownies, but we're going to make it for our cheesecake today. So I start with about 1/4 of a cup of powdered sugar, and then you're going to add 1/2 cup of sour cream and 2 tablespoons extra, and then 1 cup of peanut butter. I typically don't measure for this item, I just make it by taste, but these three ingredients really do just something for anything chocolate. And so I add a pinch of salt because all things taste better with a little salt. And then you can use this any way you like. It'll stay in the refrigerator for probably up to a week. I'm going to put it on top of the ganache, and I like it because it's not super sweet, but if you wanted it to be sweeter, you could add more powdered sugar, of course. And then I'm going to top it at the very end with a few mini chocolate chips because it's prettier, let's face it. And then your cheesecake's done. It needs to be refrigerated for overnight, about 12 hours before you serve it, just because you want it to get really nice and cold. And then this is what it looks like when it's done, popped out of the springform pan, and this is what it looks like when it was cut. Hope you guys enjoy.